Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Conquering with Praise. My name is Praise. If you're new here, welcome. Please hit the subscribe button down below and don't forget to hit the notification bell because I'll be posting 2 or more videos every single week. Now, let's get down to business. Today I'm going to be telling you about my encounter with pastors and prophets and prophetess. So, when I was growing up, I was a bright kid, but then I started failing. When I started failing, I was sent to a church. When I got there, I remember being prayed for. And you know how pastors push you? That's what happened. I was pushed and then I fell. When I fell, they told my parents I was possessed and now I have to stay at the church for deliverance. Fine. I stayed there, I think, for about 2 weeks. And every time I thought I was going home, because I think I was supposed to stay there for 2 days or something. But every time my parents came to fetch me, I would get pushed and I would fall and then have to stay there. And my parents had to bring groceries. And I was not the only one there. We were a lot. I think we were about 20. We slept on the floor. And every time at night, we would pray and nothing would happen to me. But if there's a service, a church service, and we go to church, when I'm being prayed for, I'm pushed and I fall. So, week 1 passed. Let's just say the first day I was told I'm not going home. They told my parents to bring clothes for me because I have to stay here for deliverance. I did. And then at night, there was this girl that I knew from church, but we weren't close then, but we became close because we were staying at the same place. Slept on the floor. I remember the first night I cried myself to sleep. In the morning when I woke up, I wished it was a dream. I wished I was still at home sleeping on my bed, but I was there at the pastor's house. So when we woke up that morning, I remember seeing my parents coming and wishing to go home with them. But I couldn't because they were told that I'm possessed and I have to be prayed for. Fine. After a week, started getting used to the place. Started saying I'm not going anywhere. So I have to get used to this place. Do you know that feeling of confusion that happens when you're like, but I don't know what's happening to me. Maybe I am indeed possessed because every time I fall and then when I fall I start crying. So I thought crying meant that I am possessed. So after a week, I think it was an all-night prayer, I asked, there was supposed to be an all-night prayer, so I asked the pastor, am I going home this Friday with my parents? And the pastor says it will depend on what happens at the all-night prayer. I said, okay. Remember, my sister was around, so she came too with my little brother and my parents. When they got there, I was so happy to see my family because, let me tell you something, it's not fun going somewhere and you don't want to go. Somewhere where you don't want to go, where you don't want to be. It's not at all. I was miserable the entire time. So that Friday, my family came. When they came, during the all-night prayer, I tried to stand my ground. When the pastor tried to push me, I would stand strong, stand still, so that I mustn't fall. Because I didn't want to fall. I wanted to go home. I didn't want to fall. I wanted to go home with my parents. But they pushed me. They pushed me in such a way that, have you ever seen that most pastors, when they want you to fall, they hit your forehead? That's what happened. The pastor was hitting my forehead a lot. I remember I fell. When I fell, I started crying a lot because I was like, oh no, I'm not going home. When I was crying, I remember he started praying for me, saying that the demons must flee out of me. And I kept crying because honestly, I wanted to go home badly. And I knew that with this, he will add another week. Fine. He prayed for me. I was crying. Then I went and sat down next to my sister. I was still crying. I asked God, what's this thing that doesn't want to leave me? If you're truly my Father, why am I struggling? Why does this thing have a huge hold against my life? In the morning, after the all-night prayer, I went to him. I asked him, am I going? He said no. I was shattered. He said maybe tomorrow, which is Sunday, meaning my parents will have to go home and then come back on Sunday. And it was a bit far, maybe an hour drive. So they left me again. When they left me, I went inside that house and I slept until 2 o'clock, when they woke us up so that we can help with cooking and fetching water. So I woke up, I helped cook, but my mind wasn't there. My mind was busy saying, I have to stand ground tomorrow when the pastor is praying for me during the service. I have to, so that I don't fall again. I want to go home. What I did was, when my parents came, because they would fetch us sometimes if the pastor was already at church. When my parents came in the morning, I had packed my bag, packed everything, and told everyone that I'm going. Told them that, It was nice. This 2 weeks was nice. So yeah, I'm going home. So goodbye. I went with my bag to church. I saw my dad's car and I went and put my bag inside. Went inside the church. Service went. He preached. After, it was now time for him to pray for people. And always he would pray for the rest of the congregation first. Then he would call the children he's staying with to come. Fine, he called the children he's staying with to come. We all went in front and we lined up. And they started praying for us. People started falling, crying, kicking. And I was like, oh, I'm doomed. I'm not leaving this house. This is it. I'm going to be here for all the June holidays. After he prayed for maybe 10, it was now my turn. I stood there. He was trying to push me. I prayed to God that, God, I need to go home. I have to go home today. No, God, if this what's happening here, it's demons, you have to cast them out today because I am going home. I'm not falling. I stood. He tried to push me. I stood. I think he prayed for me longer than everyone else because all of them were crying on the floor and I was still standing. I stood. And then when he said amen, I walked back and I went to sit down next to my parents. After service, he was talking he was talking to our parents, the parents of the children he lived with. So he was telling our parents, most of the parents, he was telling them, no, this person has to stay here because you saw the deliverance is still going on. So no. When he came to my parents, I asked him, am I going home? I didn't fall, which means I'm delivered, right? And he said, yes, you're going home. I was so happy. So happy. 2 full weeks. And we went there because a friend of my mom told us about a certain pastor who prays for people and delivers them. Oh, and another thing. I had all-star sneakers and my siblings had them. And he took and bent them because apparently when you wear them, you have this devilish walk. But I ask myself now a lot that's what everybody does when they have new things. You have this walk that shows that you have new things. But yeah, he bent our all-stars. And I went home after 2 weeks and I was very happy to be home. Yeah, that's part 1 of my story with pastors.